Now let's take up one past or many. We have used the word past in plural to draw attention to the fact that the past was different from different groups of people. For example, the lives of herders or farmers were different from those of kings and queens. The lives of merchants were different from those of craft persons, and so on. Also, as is true even today, people follow different practices and customs in different parts of the country. For example, today, most people living in the Andaman Islands get their own food by fishing, hunting, and collecting forest produce. By contrast, most people living in cities depend on others for supply of food. Differences such as these existed in the past as well. Besides, there is another kind of difference. We know a great deal about kings and the battles they fought because they kept records of their victories. Generally, ordinary people such as hunters, fishing folk, gatherers, farmers or herders did not keep record of what they did. While archaeology helps us to find out about their lives, there is much that remains unknown. We have seen that inscriptions are written on hard surfaces. Many of these were written several hundred years ago. All inscriptions contain both scripts and languages. Languages which were used as well as scripts have changed over time. So how do scholars understand what was written? This can be done through a process known as decipherment. One of the most famous stories of decipherment comes from Egypt, a country in North Africa where there were kings and queens about 5,000 years ago. Rosetta is a town on the north coast of Egypt, and here an inscribed stone was found which contained inscriptions in 3 different languages and scripts, Greek and 2 forms of Egyptians. Scholars who could read Greek figured out that the names of the kings and queens were enclosed in a little frame called crochet. They then placed the Greek and the Egyptian signs side by side and identified the sounds for which the Egyptian letters stood. As you can see, a lion stood for L and a bird for an A. Once they knew that the letter stood for, they could read other inscriptions as well.